right now.
Right now.
And then who comes to the garden? Like, do you guys have already people that are coming in from this neighborhood or the school, or just give me a synopsis of the people that are involved here?
Sure. We're seeing about 18 people, not including children, show up for our family dinners, and we do potlucks. And we pick 2 different nights so that while we meet weekly, we have the opportunity to cover 2 different days for attendance help. Because we're all really busy. I mean, that's the way life is. And as far as the garden goes, on top of those fellowship times, we have garden time, and people just show up when they can. We get together, we plant together, we pray together, we water together, we weed together, and it's pretty fun. Linda built a project with the kids, and they made these amazing garden signs. They're super cute. I hope they're in a picture.
Yeah.
They worked really hard. They did laminating, everything. So
those
super
kids
fun.
Were the kids in this mission community?
Yeah. And so we've got ways that we can incorporate them. We've made some outreach efforts. I spoke with the liaison for the Washington County foster system to learn what requirements we needed to fulfill to have foster families come out here. We found out that he's very happy to already just share our phone number. So we'll see. June 29th, we are going to have our first open garden event. And for that, we're inviting community members. The neighbors will all get a flyer to come visit, see what's going on. School's going to be out, so I don't know if we'll actually touch with the kids at Walker Elementary this year, but there are other people that work for different companies that have contact with Spanish-speaking population that is not really thriving well, and different opportunity just to have people out. We have a gal so this is a cool story.
Okay.
There's a thing called Women's Night of Prayer at Solid Rock, and I've been doing it for years. There's a woman who had just come to know Jesus in my very first circle as a facilitator. And I have so much joy in my memories from that night. I got to wash her feet. She's just a sweet, sweet lady. She works really hard to feed her family, has a couple different jobs. And she came to one of our meetings, and she wants to make tamales for the open garden time.
Wow.
So she's trying to contribute in ways that are tangible. It's hard because it's hard for her to get here, but she's really excited and committed to making the effort to do that, and has even asked for some time off. Those are the kinds of things. We've got people in our lives that all of us just want to say, hey, come. People that know Jesus, people that don't. And so we have no idea how many people will be at the open garden. But it could be 50, it could be 1,000, I don't know. We'll see. Whoever shows up.
Sounds like the word's gonna
go.
So.
There are fingers everywhere.
Shut off, and I don't.
Am I staying still enough?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
It's not that.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, you can move.
Don't worry.
I was
Okay.
joking.
I'm trying to sit really still, leaning on my elbows.
No.
If I pass out, it'll be like when people lock their knees, I guess.
Alright. Where's my questions?
Am I over answering?
No. Well,
Okay.
yes and no, but don't worry about it.
Okay.
We'll edit.
I'll repeat myself too if you want.
That's fine. Because, yeah, it helps me to know the entire story, and that way I can kind of narrow it down.
Right.
So I guess my question is, gardening in your background at all? Or did you just find people that came with gardening skills? Just talk a little bit about, was it something that God just spoke to you guys about? Like, How did that just all of a sudden become something important to you?
So, is gardening part of my background? It's not in a professional or educated way, but my dad always had a garden. But he just put stuff in the ground and it would grow. There was no sluggo, there was no fertilizer. It was just, put some stuff in there so we can have some good tomatoes and corn, and we'd have a little garden. And so there's the romantic piece, because I love to look back on traditions, and that was definitely a tradition. So in that way, yes. Am I an expert? Do I have the organization and knowledge of where to put things? Not at all. And so having people that are really into gardening in the group is a great thing. We're just feeling super blessed that it moved that quickly. We are also excited because our sons are 16 and 17, to have them still here so that they can actually learn a little bit about gardening too, and just to make them work. Those are all good things too. We really like that. I used to jokingly say I had a black thumb. Actually.
Yes. Right now, do you have any stories to share? Like, I guess right now would be a good chance to talk about the guy who came to till up the ground with the tractor.
Oh, sure. The other thing I would also just really quickly say about the garden, I think always it's been more about the romance of having Eden, having this haven that we can use as a vehicle, that it's an opportunity to engage with people and teach something that is really important, that you could learn to feed yourself really cheaply with a couple bags of seeds and some dirt, and just to learn how and to teach that skill. We see it as amazingly valuable because it's also an opportunity to share Jesus, and that's the real life. So I know it's super romantic in my head.
No, it's practical and it's beautiful.
Yeah, that's it. It's practical and it's beautiful, and that's God. He's practical, beautiful, and it's even kind of funny sometimes. So we could talk slugs, but I don't know. It may not be fit for the print.
Oh, okay. Do you have a story about slugs?
Well, there are just some fun slug killing stories. Some of them get a little violent. That's the way it is with young men. But slug predators. There's says, I can move my arm. My arm doesn't even hurt.
Wow.
And he knew he'd experienced a healing. And so he made the time to come the following Saturday night to share this experience with House Church, to share how this garden has blessed him. He'd already been sharing about his opportunities to share about the garden when he was loading all of the Zudu. He had had a woman who was definitely a non-believer kind of lurking every time he would come to load more. She would listen to all of his stories, all of the talking, and he was engaging her in a way that has motivated him to go back and visit more and see how she's doing. So his experiences just in this opportunity to help us have been really big, and it's pretty exciting. We have a lady who comes here on Tuesdays and Thursdays to teach yoga, and she's been coming since the 1st of January. Well, she comes from a background of pain and some pretty bad theology, and she's not too happy with religion. So we have her come and we pray while she teaches yoga, and she knows that, and she's really excited about the garden too. And she has a son who's in middle school. He's 13. So we're also looking at the opportunity to share with him and see how much involvement they have. Yeah, they're very inspired to this, and we'll just see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go back